Now we're recording. All right. So I am so excited, everyone, to welcome Courtney Alley to our Home Intentionally group. She's already a member, but she is going to talk to us today about how to find your happy. Courtney is an amazing, amazing person, and she has personally helped me. She is passionate about guiding women to finding their happy and making it a daily habit, which she time and time again helps me bring back to my happy and remind me that it is a habit. So we will dive right on in. And Courtney, question for you. How do you know you're happy? Right?
Ooh, very good question. Hi, everyone. I'm so excited to be here. How do you know you're happy? Well, guys, if you're asking the question, I think you know. It's not something we have to ask. It's like when you ask yourself, am I in love with this person? Right? You know. And when we ask ourselves a question, what's happening is we're feeling the fear. Okay, well, if I'm happy, what is that? What does that mean for me? How does that feel? What do I do with it now? Right? It's because we think of it as outside and we think of it as a thing, right? But it's from within. So you know. So when I think of happy, I think of those butterflies. You know, when you meet someone and you just know there's something about them and you get those butterflies, or if you're about to go on vacation, right? That feeling that just lights you up. It's just that joyful feeling inside. That is happy. Happy is having a consistent self-care practice.
Yes.
You know, are you taking care of yourself every single day? Are you putting yourself first? Happiness is surrounding you with things and people you love. So when you wake up in the morning, when you look around your house and you look at the people that you're living with, do they bring you joy? Do they make you feel loved? Do they make you feel good about yourself? All those things are happy. When you wake up first thing in the morning, what are you thinking about? How do you feel? All those are signs. Are you in a place in your life where you feel happy?
I love that.
It is such a good question that I created a quiz just on, are you happy? And I have it on my website because that's the number one question people ask me. Am I happy?
Yeah.
We shouldn't have to ask. We know. It's a knowing.
So let's say you feel happy the majority of the time.
Right.
And something throws you off. You know, you're feeling positive, you're feeling good, you get bad news, or you go to work and things are a mess. And how do you get back there? You know, how do you do what one tool that you've taught myself is taught myself. You've taught me.
You taught yourself.
You guided me through it.
Yeah.
You know, to do that self-check. So if I do a self-check and I say, wow, I'm just really not feeling happy right now, how do you bring yourself back?
That's also a beautiful question. So once again, we think of happy as an external source. So if something happens that triggers us and we're not feeling our happy self, we're like, but we're not happy. It's something you hold within your heart. It is always there. But what happens is external circumstances, past programming, meaning things that happen in our past, will trigger us and put us in a state that when we weren't our happy self, we go back there. Yeah. And so that's why I suggest checking in with yourself, because we hold it right here. It's always with us. So just closing your eyes and taking 3 deep breaths and talking to yourself as if you are two people and saying, what's going on? What are you feeling? What happened? And you will realize that you're not home. You're not in your heart. You're in your head. You're in all the busy thinking and the things you have to get done, or what someone said that affected you personally, all the external things. But if we can just take a second, and I suggest doing it several times throughout the day and taking 3 deep breaths and getting back into our heart and asking ourselves, how are we feeling? What's going on? Where do I feel this in my body? Who am I thinking of? It's amazing. You'll just have, you'll instantly think of your mom or a situation that happened when you were 5 years old. And it could be a smell. It could be something someone said that triggered that. It's absolutely amazing. We store so much stuff in our body, but it has nothing to do with you. And it's not the person you are today. So we're constantly checking in with ourselves to say, Who do I want to be? What do I want to put out to the world? And how do I want to feel?
Well, and I think for me, when you taught me that, doing that self-check, it gets easier every time. And what's interesting is when you have that moment where you're like, oh, wait a second, these are not my emotions. Or,
Yes.
when you discover why that triggered you, then I've been able to work then away from that. So fewer things trigger me. Or I can anticipate that there may be something like that might come up, and I'm able to work myself through it.
Yes. And how powerful is it to know that all the answers lie within, and
Mhm.
we can get ourselves through anything.
Yes. Just having
Anything.
that level of awareness and control over my emotions to know,
Yeah.
okay, this is what I'm going into, but I don't have to feel that way.
Yes.
I mean, just you've given me so much permission to say, I don't have to carry this around. Like, this is an old habit or an old story, and I can drop it at any time.
Yeah, just because something hands you a gift doesn't, excuse me, just because someone hands you a gift doesn't mean you have to take it and accept it,
Right. Right.
right? We feel the need to take on whatever is given to us.
Hmm. Hmm.
Take on what makes you feel good. Take on what brings you joy. That's all.
It's empowering, really.
It is empowering. And we have a million chances to do that in a day.
Mm-hmm.
We are in control of our day. And I know we'll get into this later, but that's all has to do with intentional living.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, I love that. So one thing that you talk about, and I know that people in my community, especially women and moms, tend to struggle with the concept of self-care.
Yes.
And I know I did for a long time, of just feeling almost like it's selfish, or, I hear a lot of time it feels selfish, or I don't know where to start,
Mm-hmm.
or I don't have time. And all of those are factors, but sometimes I think we're so much in our heads, like you're talking about, that we're not giving ourselves that escape and understanding how important that really is. I mean, it's been life changing for me. I'm kind of on, I would say, a year of really consistently caring for myself, right? And I'm noticing a huge difference. And you've been able to support me majorly during that transition. So how do you recommend for your mom or your, just woman kind of working in her day-to-day overwhelmed state, how do you recommend she get started or figure out, what self-care looks like for her?
So, once again, we are looking at self care as an external thing. We're looking at it as, oh, I have to eat right. I have to exercise every day. Oh, it costs money. I have to spend money on
Yep.
myself. Self care is taking care of you, whatever that
Mhm.
looks like. Even if that's just saying, I love you,
Yeah.
looking in the mirror every day and saying, I love you.
Mhm.
Because, guys, without you, nothing else is possible. You are the common denominator of your life and your equation. If you don't take care of the most important thing in your world, everything else falls apart.
Yeah.
If we don't put gas in our car, it doesn't go. If we don't water our plants, they die. If we don't take care of our relationships, our loving relationships, they leave, right?
Mhm.
So our relationship with ourselves is the number one. But for some reason, everyone puts it last. And
Yeah.
then they wonder why their life doesn't work out the way they want, or why they attract people they don't want in their life,
Mm.
right? It all starts with you. We teach others how to treat us. And
Yeah.
the way we do that is the way they watch us treat ourselves. You want your daughter, your
Mm.
son to have a good relationship with themselves.
Yeah.
They watch you.
Mm.
They learn from you. So if you take care of you, they take care of them. You are empowering them to put themselves first.
Mm.
We just preach and we talk, but we don't do. It's
Mhm.
all about starting with you.
Yes.
So self-care, honestly, is the number one importance in your life is a good self-care practice.
Yeah.
It's loving yourself unconditionally, putting yourself first, and giving yourself what you need. And
Mhm.
that goes back into checking
Yeah.
in several times throughout the day and finding out, what do I need today, which could be completely different than 10 minutes ago.
Yep.
And guess what? We're dynamic beings, right? And we give everyone else what they need. everyone
Mm-hmm.
else what they need, and we don't even question it. But
Nope.
when it comes to us and something we need, it's like, oh no, I can't do that. I can't take that time. I can't do that money. Right?
Right. Well, and I think too, well, it's simple, right? It's not necessarily taking you out of the home or having to be an hour, 2 hour practice or anything like that. It's checking in with yourself and saying, I need to take a 5 minute walk. I
Yes.
need to take a couple deep breaths. I need to, it's those things that you can do in the middle of chaos sometimes,
Yes.
right? Like,
Yes. We have time throughout the whole day to take mini me breaks. We
mhm,
really do. So we go into the lunchroom, we put on, so, okay, this is my number one thing that I love is headphones. And the reason
mhm,
I say that is because it's a boundary. So
yes,
when I need some me time, I put my headphones in and everyone thinks I'm not available, right?
right, right.
But I could have nothing on and I
Mhm,
am just breathing or just being with me,
yeah,
thinking about my day, thinking about how I feel, what do I need. That is a mini me break. When you go to the restroom, it's the one time you're all alone. You close the door, stay in there a little longer, breathe, tell yourself you love yourself. Think of something you love. I mean, I
mhm,
don't know how many times I'm thinking of the ocean or I'm thinking of the
yeah,
sun shining because instantly you just feel good, right?
yeah,
You're giving yourself little me breaks throughout the day. So important. Car rides. You guys, anytime you're in the car by yourself, do your best to be in quiet.
yeah,
We feel the need to be on all the time, radio on, podcasts on, talking. I mean, I'm another thing, be quiet or talk with yourself,
yeah.
right? It's the one place we feel safe talking to ourselves.
Mhm.
So take that break time to give yourself what you need and create a relationship with yourself.
I know for me, one of the most surprising things maybe, on my journey is people are more likely to copy our actions than they are to listen to necessarily the things that we're saying. And it's been amazing to me to watch either those around me, but even my kids picking up on what I'm doing. You Bella had asked, and she's going to be 3, but she asked, she needed some quiet time. And, she told me she needed her quiet time, and it kind of threw me off a little bit because I was like, oh dear. And she did. She went into her room, she went into her tent and spent 15, 20 minutes of, whatever she needed, and then came out and she felt so much better. And I'm noticing with her having those conversations and her even being able to verbalize her feelings and what she needs is so impressive to me, because it's taken me 30 years to be able to do so. uh, you know and she's able to do that, and it's
Yeah.
amazing to me, and it even is reducing like tantrums and things like that, because she can very clearly say, this is what I need, or this is what I'm feeling, and then we can even talk through it. and
Yes.
and so I've kind of brought them along in on my journey, and they see the bad days and they see the good days, because it's not always a I'm not always a sterling example, but I love that they can see kind of that contrast, and because that's how life is, right? Like,
Yes. Yes, yes. Our biggest teacher, you're right, is people, what we watch, right?
mhm,
That's how we learn. And I want to bring up something because it's a big aspect of self care, and that is celebrating you. And
yeah,
so, this is a time when you see those things, when your kids are doing things, you're like, wow, that's amazing. Guess where they learned it? So,
mhm,
that's when you pat yourself on the back, or you go and look at yourself in the mirror and say, I'm doing a good job.
mhm.
And I love myself.
Well, and I think that's a good point too, because so often, right, we are quick to criticize ourselves. My self-talk is a little dramatic, and it's it's getting better. But it's quick to point out all the things that I did wrong in a day, or that I feel I did wrong in a day, or could do
Right.
better, or whatever it is. But I'm doing better at bringing more of the positive in, and just saying, wow, you did a really good job today. Or, hey, look at these kids. Good job, you. Or you look good today. Like,
Yes.
your hair looks good, whatever it is.
Yes.
I'm trying to have that balance in myself, of having more positive things that I'm picking up on than negative. And that's really shifting my mindset.
Well, you being a mother, all you have to do is say to yourself, the words that are going on in my head and what I'm saying to myself, if my daughter said this to themselves, would I be okay with it?
Right. Well, and
Because
go ahead.
I was just going to say, when this stuff is happening in our head, our kids, it's a negative energy. It's a low vibrational energy. And even though we're not saying anything, our kids are learning what's happening. They
Absolutely.
pick up on that stuff.
Well, and we would never treat a friend or our children or whoever, someone we cared about, loved, we would never treat them the way that sometimes we treat ourselves. We would never say to someone else sometimes the things that we say to ourselves.
Yes.
And so I love how you teach to just care for yourself like, like you are a best
You're
friend.
the most important person in the equation.
I mean,
Yes.
and it's so simple. It doesn't have to be complicated. You can build
No.
your regular day. You can make it a happy habit, right?
Yes. Yes. Look in your life and ask yourself, would any of this be here without me?
Mm.
No. You have created all of this, whether good or bad, you've created it all.
Yeah. I love that.
So I want to say something about happy habits.
Yes.
Because my whole passion for inspiring others to find their happy was inspired because of my hard times in my life and how I rose from them.
Yeah.
And the number one thing was little habits I did every day to make me feel joyful.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I call happy habits.
Yeah.
Happiness, people think of it as a destination. It's not. It's how you feel throughout the whole entire journey. How do you feel every second of every day? And if you don't feel happy, how do you feel the next minute? And then the next minute? We have power all day long to change any feeling. We are creating these, and they're always created by our thoughts, right? Someone could say something to us nice, and we could take it wrongly. It has nothing to do with them. At all. And do we ever ask them and say, I'm sorry, that just didn't feel good. What did you mean by that?
Mm-hmm.
And then they explain themselves and you're like, oh my gosh, I would have took that and thought that it was a negative, not a compliment, right? And made myself feel horrible. Instead, just saying, what did you mean by that? Help me understand what you just said.
Well, and I love that you just said not making happy a destination, because I think so often we're waiting for the weekend. We're waiting until it hits 5 o'clock. We're waiting until vacation or till retirement or whatever it is, right? We have these countdowns in our mind of, once Friday comes, I can be happy. And that's, to me, that's no way to live, right? Like that.
Plus, we are missing the present moment.
Right. I mean,
we're always looking ahead of us. We're never right now in where all the magic is.
Right. Right. We're missing out on all of the beautiful things around us.
Yes. And everything you just said is external. None of that has to do internal.
It's like when they say, stop and smell the roses type thing. And when you sometimes take yourself out of all of that and take a walk and you're truly in the moment, the amount of things that I pick up on that I'm grateful for, as something simple as, the breeze and the trees or flowers or, just maybe something that I catch with the kids or someone, someone's facial expression that you're like, oh, like I never noticed that before. I love that. That's beautiful. I'm so glad I was able to catch that, which I don't catch when I'm in my head.
Yes. Yes. And we haven't even got into gratitude. I mean, that's a huge happy habit in my world. Mm-hmm. But I thought of this yesterday. I went out for a walk. Nature is huge, you guys. Anytime you're just in a place where you can't get out of your head, go outside. It will really make your problems seem super small, right? Because this big world and we are just this tiny little person. Mm-hmm. So go out, and every time something sparks some joy in you, like what you just said, you saw your kids do something and it just lit you up. Say to yourself, I want more than that. I want more of that. Mm-hmm. I am grateful for that. I loved that. Really put energy into it. Yeah. Make yourself believe that you are worth what just happened, because guess what? More starts happening.
Mm.
So I'm walking on my hike. Can't really call it a hike. I live, I don't, can I share my life?
Yeah,
It's
share
kind of
whatever
exciting.
you'd like to. Yes.
So I live in an RV and I travel. So after my daughter went off to college, I said to myself, what is one thing that I have never been able to do? And that is travel. And so I live in my RV and I travel, and this is what I do for a living. So I get to see new, beautiful places and experience new things and meet new people. And so I'm out walking down a street that I've never been before, and I'll see little things that I just love, like the beautiful mountains here in Southern California are just breathtaking. And I look at them and I say, I want more of that. I love this moment. It is so beautiful here. And you attract more of that. But what do we do, guys? We walk around and we judge every single person and thing we see. And it's all comes from within, right? But we think of all the things that we don't want. Just that teeny mind shift. Every time you find yourself, once again, it's checking in. What am I thinking about? What's going on? Change it. Change it to positive.
Yeah. So I know for me, I kind of had to try some different habits out, right? To decide what ones felt best for me. So different things like a gratitude practice, meditation. Obviously it looks different for anybody. I'm a firm believer, and I know we've talked about this, of having some sort of morning practice. And I like even morning and evening practice of going to bed with gratitude, going to bed in a positive place, and then I wake up in a much more positive place. So if I'm just feeling, like I don't have any of those in place, I'm feeling like I don't have any happy habits and I don't know where they start. Where do I go? What kind of things maybe could I try? What are your suggestions?
Oh, of course. So it's not a one size fits all, right? So we all need to discover what brings us joy, and that is the key ingredient. So every single day, do one thing that brings you joy. Just one thing, and start there.
Yeah.
And then before you know it, you're going to be like, I want more of this, and I want more of this. And it's just going to feel so good. And it's like the next thing is going to feel more joyful. And then the next thing is going to feel more joyful. And then the next thing. It's all about taking one positive step forward every single day.
Progress.
It's progress. It's the journey, you guys. And it's the feeling of the step. So each step, if we are in joy and it feels good, and we take another step, the next thing's going to feel good, and the next thing's going to feel good, and the next thing's going to feel good. And when you get to where you're going, it's going to be so amazing that you're going to be like, oh, hell no, I want more. And you're going to take another step, and you're going to take another step, and you're going to take another step. So I, myself, have a joy list. I keep it on my phone. So this started that I would go throughout my day, and anytime something would just give me the butterflies or make me just all of a sudden look forward to something, or I thought of someone, or I just felt good, I wrote it down, what I just did. And before you knew it, I had 100 things that brought me joy. So when I was in that place of just like, like I'm walking through mud, like things just aren't working out, I pull out that joy list and I do one thing on it. And before you know it, everything has turned around.
I love it.
Yeah. Joy list number one. If you are just getting started and you don't know where to start, right? It seems so overwhelming. Number one, the reason it feels overwhelming is because you're looking at happiness as the destination.
Yeah.
What can I do? One little act can I do today to bring me joy?
I love that. And just having that reminder on your phone of all the things, I think sometimes we get stuck in our heads and we think of all the negative times and all the times when we're not happy.
Yes.
So it begins to feel like we're not happy.
Yes.
And having a joy list is something so wonderful, I think, to return to, because there will be moments when we're not happy. But to return to that and say, wow, there's 100 things that have made me happy. And it's growing. That list is growing.
Yes. I like to think of, we've all been in a relationship that ended. And you're in the relationship and things aren't working out and it feels so heavy and all you can think of is everything that's not working.
Yeah.
But when that relationship's over and you guys go your separate way, what do you think about more than anything? You think of the things you loved about the person and the things you miss.
Mhm.
And then you get mad at yourself. Why didn't I think of those when we were together?
Right.
Right? So really, in all aspects of our life, think of what you love about the situation, what you want more of the situation, and it will
Well,
bring you more.
well, and I love too that you're comparing this to a relationship and saying what you miss. And I think so much of the times, and I know this is true for myself, that as moms, we're so focused on caring for everybody else that we tend to feel like we get lost. And we forget what used to bring us joy. We forget, and so putting yourself in that place of what even if you're thinking of yourself as like a friend or someone else, what do you miss? What do you miss about her? What do you miss that she used to do? What did she used to love? And then bring yourself back to that woman because she's still there.
That is so true. My daughter now is going to turn 21.
Mm.
And I was a single mom, and we were best friends. And when she left, I miss things that I never thought I would miss. Right? And I say this to new moms or people that still have kids at home, because all we can think of about is we don't have any time for ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
And oh my gosh, I just want them to go to bed. And, that's all loving intention. It's part of being a mom.
Normal.
Yeah. And when they go, it's the things that you remember.
Mm.
Oh my gosh, the smell of my daughter's head.
Mm-hmm.
I wish I could have wrapped that up and turned it into perfume. I miss that more than anything.
Mm-hmm.
It is. It's those beautiful, beautiful memories. And when they happen, we have no idea how much they impact us. Mm-hmm. No idea. And when I remember being in the car and she would just not stop talking. I used to have this thing. I'd say, okay, Allie, we're going to put our mouths in timeout. No talking for 5 minutes. And I turned it into a game. And it's like just that instant peace, right? But you could not feel peace because you just felt her head buzzing, right?
Yes.
Me and you are empaths, so we feel energy. And I could zzz, but she tried so hard. And it was so fun. And guess what? Instead of me being frustrated, I laughed and it was joyful. And we'd start giggling. I miss those times.
Yeah.
I miss those times.
Mm. Ah, you've shared so many wonderful things with us. I feel very at peace. I always do. I always feel very calm when I'm with you. So I'm just like very relaxed.
That's called happy.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Cortney is my happy habit.
Oh, thank you.
So where can you have several things really that you are offering for people to find their happy habit, to really create this daily life, this lifestyle change, right? That touches everything that we do.
Yeah.
So do you want to share some of those things with us and what that looks like?
Oh, I would love to. So, like we talked about, sometimes in people's lives, that happiness is the destination and they think it's so big and they don't know where to start. So I offer a discovery call. And what that is saying, okay, let's find out where you're at and where you start. And what does that look like for you, right? We had a discovery call together and yours was so magical. It was just a couple things I tweaked, a couple things I said, and you took off. And sometimes that's all people need. I've had people refer to it as the Zen call. Because it's like Cortney gets in your head and says, you get out of there, you get out of there, you get out of there, and bring in love, right? And sometimes it's just checking ourselves, having that accountability partner to say, you are worthy. Stop it. Stop it. You are not treating yourself loving. You're not treating yourself like a friend. And that's all you need. And others are like, I need more. And so I do offer packages. I just created, I'm so excited, my online course. And what I decided to do, because for moms and women just in general, we're super busy, and taking an hour call once a week is just too much, right? And once we have that call, then you have all the stuff that happens in the call that you're like, okay, I need to practice this, and what do I do with it? So I have created an email course where you get one email a day for 28 days, and each email is a different happy habit.
Mm.
And so it's small little steps you're going to take every single day for 28 days. And like I said, one step and then another and then another. Before you know it, every day, all day long, you're doing things that bring you joy. And so it's manageable.
Yeah.
And they're emails you can keep. And I have a video in each email. And I give you a little exercise. And I give you quotes. And it's just like I'm going to start my day with Cortney, for 28 days. And so I've created that. So I'm super, super excited for that.
Mm.
On my Facebook page, I do live videos every week. I have Sunshine Minutes. They're about 5 minutes and they talk about happy habits and they just get you in a good, peaceful place. I have now Happy Hour every Thursday where I'm on for about 30 minutes and I talk about a major topic. Like last week was self-care. This week coming up is anxiety, people that deal with anxiety. What do we do with that? And so I love being online. I love teaching. And so all this is free on my Facebook page. And then I have my Facebook group, and that's my baby. And you've joined that. And that every single day I have a different theme. And it's just a tribe of amazing people that are all doing their best every single day to keep their vibration high and feel in a peaceful, loving, happy place. Yeah, go ahead, hon.
I was just going to ask you about your webinar that will be coming up to kind of kickstart.
Jumpstart. Yeah, kickstart, whatever you want to say. So I did a poll on my Facebook group and I asked, what do you want to hear more about? So I took everything that people wanted to hear more about, and I kid you not, I have pillars of creating your happy. And this is what I'm going to talk about. And I call it the recipe for finding your happy, right? We all look for a recipe. When we had a kid, didn't we wish we had an instruction booklet, right? Yes. So it's 4 major pillars, one of them being self-care. And how do I tackle those? How do I jump in and say, okay, this is my foundation. I got that down. And then I can go into the happy habits. And that's what my webinar is about. So it's an introduction to what 28 Days, my course, is. And that's on March 13th. And I'm super excited. It's a free webinar. You register. It's a Zoom call. And I will also have a replay available.
Oh, I love that. Yes, I will be there.
Yay!
I'm excited to learn more about this happy habits. It's like an addiction now. Once you start taking care of yourself and you start bringing joy into your life, then you keep looking for new ways to cultivate that.
Why? Because it feels good.
Yeah, it feels good. Where else can you shift things? Sometimes it's just a minor shift. And then and book a call with Cortney, because she stays in your head almost. Like she shifts you out of these places, and when you find yourself sliding back to those, it's almost like Cortney comes in my mind and just says, okay, Ashley, are you checking in with yourself? Are you taking a deep breath? And she is a tremendous friend and person, and I'm just so passionate about what she does and how she shares it. And I hope that all of you jump on that webinar on the 13th. Will you have a replay if someone can't make it live?
You bet. They do need to register though.
Perfect.
And then I will send out a replay so they can have it in their email box and they can watch it whenever they want. But to get the replay, you do need to register. And it's just putting your email address so I can get the emails coming, and that's it.
Got it.
Yeah.
Amazing. Anything else you'd like to share with us?
Well, I know you asked this question to a lot of your, what do you call us? Your interviewers?
Yeah. Oh, yes.
So I wanted to answer it.
Oh. Yeah.
Yeah. So I wanted to answer it because it is something, hands down, I do throughout the whole day. And that's one of my favorite intentional habits.
Yes.
Did I say that correctly?
Yes, you did.
Intentional living habits.
Mm-hmm.
So my favorite intentional living habit is no matter what I do, whether I'm walking out the door or I'm getting online to work on my business, I close my eyes and I ask myself, what is my intention? That is so important, you guys. We go through life not even thinking about anything we're doing. We just do it. And then we wonder why things don't work out the way we had hoped, right? To me, it's like grabbing my keys. I can't drive my car without my keys. I center myself and say, what is my intention with where I'm going? Like if I'm going to the grocery store, what is my intention? Well, I want to make sure that I get in and out. I want to make sure and get a fast line. I want to make sure they have my favorite cauliflower rice. Whatever it is, I'm putting out there what I want to happen. And guess what, guys? It happens. It's
Mm.
absolutely amazing. And do that with everything. When you're driving home from work and you're about to see your kids and your family, set an intention on how you want that evening to go.
Yeah.
You are in control. And guess what? When you show up, even though you're not saying any words, your energy has that intention. It holds that intention. So
Yeah.
people seeing you can feel it. Have you
Mm.
ever felt like or heard when you walk into a room, and this is another sign you're happy, by the way. You walk into a room and people say, Courtney's here. How you doing? How is your day today? It's like they get excited to see you, or they say, you're smiling. What happened today? It's your
Mhm.
energy. It's how you present yourself. And you
Mm.
present yourself in good energy when you choose to have good energy.
Yeah.
So set an intention no matter what you're doing. Before you go to bed, I intend to sleep peacefully. I intend to sleep through the night. I intend to have wonderful dreams. Whatever it is, set an intention.
Mm. I love that. I like to try to set an intention that I will wake up happy and not hit the snooze button a few times. So I can
I
actually,
do want to, oh, sorry, go ahead.
no, go ahead.
I want to say one more thing with the word happy,
Mhm.
because to me, the word happy lights me up. To someone else, it may not.
Mm.
So it's not a one size fits all. Pick another word. If happy doesn't feel good to you, pick another word. It's
Mm.
whatever the feeling brings you. I call harmony,
Mhm.
balance, peace, calm,
Mhm.
loved. It's what makes you feel good in your heart. That is happy.
Mm. I love that. Mm. Thank you so much, Courtney,
You
for
are so
stopping
welcome.
in today and sharing with us all of these amazing things. I am very much looking forward to your webinar next Wednesday on the
Yeah,
13th.
yeah, well, not this Wednesday, next Wednesday.
Oh,
Yes.
yes,
March
sorry. Yes.
13th. Yes. I'm in
Um,
creation mode, so I don't even know what days are right now. That's, yeah, you
I
know
feel like
how
I
it is
never
when
know
you're
what days
creating.
are.
It's like, yeah.
So perfect. Okay, so I'm excited about that. I'll have all the information on where they can find you, and you are in our Facebook group, so
Yes.
you can always reach out to Courtney there and ask her any questions you need. And you have your website.
I
Um,
have a website,
yeah.
Facebook page, Instagram, and guys, it's all balancewithcourtney.com. The only thing that's different is my Facebook group, which anyone
Yes.
can join. It is a private group, and that's called Happy Balance.
Love it. And that's also an amazing, it's just a tremendous community resource. I mean, every day it's just something to kind of check in with myself and remind myself to be grateful, or to do those. They have really good reminders and practices for me to stay in my happy habit.
Thank you. Thank you. That's my intention with that group.
Absolutely. Well, you're doing it.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
All right. So please reach out to Courtney, and we will talk to you guys soon.
Wonderful. Bye, everyone.